We continue to learn more about the 3 Michigan State University students who were shot and killed last night on campus and the man who killed them.
Let's go through what we know so far. Police say the first call came out of Berkey Hall. That's an academic building on the northern campus. We're told the police response was, quote, overwhelming. Responding officers saw several victims, including 2 students who had been killed.
Then they received more calls at the MSU Union building. That's less than a block away to the west. Officers were then redeployed, but said that they would not get into specifics as to how long that took. The Union building is where the 3rd fatal victim was found. MSU's interim president spoke to the campus community today.
And our Spartan hearts are broken. We're grieving, but as a community, we're grieving together. We struggle to comprehend. We lost families, friends, classmates, and our hearts go out to the victims and families of this senseless tragedy. And we offer to each of them the peace that passeth understanding.
We have team coverage this afternoon from East Lansing and here at 13 on Your Side, including information on the suspect and the help that is now available for students at MSU and elsewhere.
We begin with 13 on Your Side's Nate Belt live outside Sparrow Hospital with what we're learning about the 3 students who lost their lives. Nate.
Yeah, guys, here at Sparrow Hospital is where 5 victims who were injured last night continue to stay in critical condition. Now, we do know the names now of the 3 victims who were killed, and we are beginning to learn more about each of them. Their names are sophomore Brian Fraser, junior Alexandria Verner, and 19-year-old Ariel Anderson. We're told all 3 were students at MSU and all 3 from the Detroit area. Now, Fraser and Anderson, are both from Grosse Pointe, while Verner is from Clawson. Anderson's family tells ABC station WXYZ in Detroit that she loved kids and had dreams of becoming a pediatrician. Fraser was the chapter president of the Phi Delta Theta fraternity at Michigan State. In a statement, the fraternity says in part, as the leader of this chapter, Brian was a great friend to his Phi Delta brothers, the Greek community at Michigan State, and those he interacted with on campus. Phi Delta Theta sends its deepest condolences to the Fraser family, the Michigan Beta chapter, and all those who loved Brian as they mourned their loss. Verner's superintendent from Clawson Public Schools also sent a statement to parents in the district today, saying in part, Alex was and is incredibly loved by everyone. She was a tremendous student, athlete, leader, and exemplified kindness every day of her life. Her parents, Ted and Nancy, sister Charlotte, and brother TJ are equally grieving, but are certainly already feeling the uplifting support of this tremendous community. Now, of course, as we continue to learn more about these victims, as well as the ones who remain here at Sparrow Hospital in critical condition, we will have that for you both on air and online at 13onyourside.com, as well as the 13 Plus app. For now, I'm going to send it back to the studio live in Lansing. Nate Belt, 13 on Your Side.
And we are learning more information about the suspect who police say walked onto MSU's campus last night and opened fire on students.
13 on Your Side's Joshua Albertus is in the Lansing neighborhood where he was found. And Josh, have you been able to talk to any of the neighbors?
We have. We're at the home on Howe Avenue in Lansing, about a mile from where that shooting took place. That was searched overnight by police in connection to the suspect. We did talk to neighbors who described their interactions with the residents here who are believed to be the suspect and his father. Police identifying the suspect in the deadly shooting on the campus of Michigan State University Monday night. 43-year-old Anthony McCrae was located by police and later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound near Lake Lansing Road and North Larch Street. Multiple agencies searching this Lansing home overnight near the intersection of Preston and East Howe Avenue in connection to McCrae. Residents of the neighborhood portraying McCrae as secluded, only ever having interactions with his father, Michael.
I know the dad. The dad's he's a good guy. He's church every Sunday, you know, like doesn't have a mean bone in his soul. Like to my husband, like, where's that? Like, that's right here. That's, you know, we're right here. And he's looked it up and he was like, that's Mike's house. Like, and it was like instant, like, that's my son. Like, that it's got to be his son.
Some neighbors expressing disbelief, describing the father as a good man.
God-loving, loves people, loves to talk, goes to the church up on the corner of Randolph and Turner Street. would do anything for anybody. Very shocking. I can't believe that it was Mike's son that did this.
The suspect's firearm activity, a point of concern in the past for one neighbor who didn't give his full name but said he often heard gunshots coming from the residence.
Pop out like a whole round, a clip would go off into the ground or something. Oh, at least once a week in the summertime.
13 on your side, discovering McCray did have a criminal history involving firearms. According to the Michigan Department of Corrections records, McCray was previously convicted of a firearms charge dating back to 2019. McCray served 19 months probation for that charge.
If someone like this is that close to you in the neighborhood, and I got kids, and all my kids' friends were out here playing yesterday, and he walked by us, walked by my house. It really puts chills down your back to knowing someone like that can live in your damn neighborhood.
In terms of the weapon that was used in this shooting specifically, authorities have not released the weapon that was used, but say a weapon was recovered. The suspect has no known connection to MSU, but authorities are still working on determining a motive. Reporting from Lansing, Josh Albertus, 13 on your side.
We also learned today Anthony McCray is believed to be involved in a threat at 2 schools in New Jersey. Anthony McCray had ties to Ewing, New Jersey, but has not lived there in several years.
When police in Michigan found him in Lansing last night dead, there was a note in his pocket that indicated a threat to 2 Ewing public schools.
Police say their investigation showed McCray had a history of mental health issues. As a precaution, the 2 Ewing, New Jersey schools were closed today.
13 on your side reporter Keely Lovern spent the day along the edge of campus right next to the Union, which is one of the locations of last night's shooting.
She spoke to several students who were right in the middle of the panic and how they're coping today. Keely joins us now live from East Lansing.
And good evening to you both. As Kirk, you mentioned, right behind me is the Union Food Court, which is one of the 2 locations where students were shot at yesterday evening. See behind me to my left, a lot of students have been coming up here, putting flowers. There's a store right behind us on the other side. So many students coming to show their support. I spoke to a lot of them out here on this main strip just off on the edge of campus. Let's take a listen to their emotional day today.
It's surreal. I guess I haven't processed it yet.
Michigan State students of all ages trying to wrap their heads around Monday night's tragedy.
It was mainly just fear of the unknown that was really driving what a lot of us were really feeling.
Each replaying what happened from their own perspectives.
I have a bathroom that's attached to my dorm, so I was just hunkered down in there, and I know that there was people were listening into the feed of the police scanners.
But I was about to head over the Union, and then my phone, I was downstairs, getting ready to go out the door, and I'm getting all these texts, it makes me realize how lucky I was that I didn't leave like 10 minutes sooner, I received multiple different calls, texts from my mom, dad, grandparents, aunts and uncles, they're all calling to see how I was doing.
Now students all over campus are coming together to try and heal, like this group from the school's St. John's Catholic community.
It was really crazy. The first thing I thought was I've heard about the other shootings like at Oxford, and I'm from around there, but this was really, really hard. I couldn't believe that this would happen to us. I know that a lot of people say that, you never think it would happen to you.
If I'm being honest, it's just a cycle. It's going to happen again. It's just a cycle. Everybody's going to support us. We're going to get little change, and then it's all going to happen again. Nothing's going to change until we get gun control or guns get banned. Nothing's going to change.
And for some students, the shock of the tragedy painted an even bigger picture.
Yeah, I'm emotional, definitely, because I know that the campus is never going to be the same after this. And that's what bothers me, knowing that campus will not be the same after this.
Now, I can tell you we've talked to several different students, all ages, even some alumni today right here on Grand River Avenue, where a lot of students have been coming, a lot of business districts, people coming their respects at the Union Food Court, and we will continue to bring you all of the coverage and all of the reactions as the MSU community continues to heal. Reporting live in East Lansing, Keely Lovern, 13 on your side.
Mental health experts from West Michigan will be in East Lansing to help students and others affected by last night's deadly shooting.
Pine Rest Christian Mental Health Services says it will send a team from Grand Rapids to assist in crisis counseling efforts. 13 on your side's Charlie Tinker joining us now with what we're learning. Charlie.
Hey guys, good evening. This is a specially trained crisis response team, 20 therapists and counselors who train specifically in crisis counseling. They respond immediately and bring that kind of support to bear in just this type of situation. These are people the hospital says were eager, who volunteered, who rearranged their schedules to get these students the support they so badly needed. And what it is, MSU had effectively enough boots on the ground as far as mental health care goes. So what it needed was professionals offering virtual appointments, a crisis line. I'm told that system is now in place. The effort came together really in the minutes after the violence ended in East Lansing. Pine Rest got a call from university medical officials, and because they already had this working relationship with MSU in place, it happened rapidly from there. And experts in behavioral health will tell you that time does factor into these responses and that it's critical students have somewhere to turn.
This goes from a place where it's safe, predictable, structured, somewhere where you think this is a daily routine and this is the university setting, to all of a sudden you have this, horrible tragedy happen. The world can all of a sudden become a not trusting, chaotic, unsafe place. And that can really affect people for their entire life.
Yeah, you did ask if you are feeling burdened by this, if you have strong feelings about what you're learning, what you're hearing, to talk to somebody. Coping, dealing with those feelings is just so important. And on your screen are some of the resources established to offer that kind of support. Those are specific to Michigan State. Also on our website, also the Pine Rest MSU crisis line established to get those appointments scheduled is 616-559-5895.
All right, Charlie, thank you. Many in Western Michigan community also affected by these events. Grand Valley State University offering support for its students in response to the shooting. The University Counseling Center is offering resources and support for students. There is also an employee assistance program available 24/7, and you can find out more information on that at gvsu.edu/counseling. University officials say they are working with campus police and the Critical Incident Response Team to update the university's preparedness plan.
This afternoon, President Joe Biden released a statement saying that he and the First Lady are praying for the 3 students killed and the 5 students injured in last night's shooting. While speaking today at the National Association of Counties in Washington, D.C., the president mentioned that today marks 5 years since 17 people were shot and killed at a Florida high school, and that every American should demand that Congress take action on gun violence.
I want to take a moment to say our hearts are with the students and the families of Michigan State University. Last night I spoke with Governor Whitmer, and the FBI and additional federal law enforcement are on the ground assisting the state and local folks, and 3 lives have been lost and 5 seriously injured. And it's a family's worst nightmare. It's happening far too often in this country. Far too often. While we gather more information, there's one thing we do know to be true. We have to do something to stop gun violence ripping apart our communities.
Stay with 13 on your side as we continue to follow the very latest developments with this story.
We will have continuing coverage throughout the next 2.5 hours, both on air and on our website, 13onyourside.com. You can also find all of our coverage on our streaming app, 13 Plus.